What was the Holy Roman Empire like after the Peace of Westphalia? Imagine a puzzle made of hundreds of pieces, each one different but fitting together to form a larger picture. That's what the Holy Roman Empire looked like after the Peace of Westphalia in 1648. This treaty ended the devastating 30 Years' War, which had torn through Central Europe for decades. The war left the empire battered and exhausted, and the peace treaty changed its shape forever. After the treaty, the empire was no longer a tightly controlled nation under a strong emperor. Instead, it became a loose federation of many independent states. Each prince or ruler could decide the official religion of their territory. This idea was called cuius regio, eius religio, meaning the ruler's religion was the law of the land. It was a big shift because it allowed religious diversity to grow. Catholic, Lutheran, and Calvinist communities all coexisted within the empire, each with some rights to worship freely. Minorities could worship privately or during specific hours, giving some religious freedom. Politically, the power of the emperor was greatly reduced. The emperor was mostly a symbolic figure with little real control. The imperial diet, or Reichstag, became the main place where decisions were made, but the real power stayed with the individual states and their rulers. The empire still had institutions like imperial circles and courts, but they couldn't force states to follow their decisions. Each state acted mostly on its own, looking after its own interests. Territorial changes also took place. Switzerland and the Netherlands officially gained independence from the empire. France and Sweden also gained land within the empire's borders. France took parts of Alsace, and Sweden received territories in northern Germany. These shifts reflected the new balance of power in Europe. France was becoming the dominant Western European power, while Spain's influence was waning. The war had caused widespread destruction, and recovery was slow. German lands were depopulated and economically weakened. The empire's ability to defend itself or project power outside its borders was limited. Many states formed alliances with foreign powers like France or Sweden, which further weakened the unity of the empire. Over the next 150 years, the Holy Roman Empire was a patchwork of hundreds of small states, from large areas like Austria and Bavaria to tiny free cities and knightly territories. The emperor, often a Habsburg, kept some prestige but had little control outside his own lands. The empire mainly served as a legal and diplomatic framework to keep peace among its members and protect smaller states from being swallowed by bigger neighbors. In the context of the age of absolutism, the empire looked very different from the powerful monarchies rising in France and Spain. While kings like Louis XIV were consolidating absolute power, the Holy Roman Emperor ruled over a fragmented, decentralized system. This made the empire seem weak compared to the strong, centralized nation-states. Yet, this structure allowed for a variety of religious and political differences that were rare at the time. The empire struggled to respond to external threats like France's expansion or Prussia's rise under the Hohenzollerns. Internal conflicts were often settled through negotiations and legal means rather than force. This reliance on diplomacy kept the peace but also showed how divided and less unified the empire had become. In summary, after the Peace of Westphalia, the Holy Roman Empire was a loose, multi-layered federation with less central authority and more independence for its states. It provided stability for small members but lacked the strength of emerging nation-states. This structure shaped Central Europe's politics until the empire finally dissolved in 1806.